In Mexico, the year 1830 dawns upon a nation scarred yet defiant, grappling with the tumultuous echoes of its newfound independence. Amid the chaos, a narrative voice echoes, marking the era. It's the year 1830. Mexico, fresh off its hard-won independence from Spain just 9 years earlier, is in turmoil. A map of Mexico unfolds, its vastness stretching across the screen, hinting at untold stories and hidden depths. The camera zooms out, revealing the sheer scale of Mexico, as the narrator ominously warns. Back then, Mexico was huge. The narrator warns ominously. But size was no protection. A sense of impending doom fills the air as the narrator reveals. Inside, the country was cracking. A chaotic montage unveils Mexico's turmoil, painting a grim portrait of a nation teetering on the edge. The nation is consumed by heated political debates, reflecting deep-seated divisions and unrest. The stark emptiness of the treasury symbolizes a nation stripped bare, devoid of resources and hope. The narrator somberly warns, no funds, no structure. The narrator continues. Just competing factions, rebellions rising from within, and the ever-present threat of Spain lurking nearby. Rebellions ignite from within, threatening to consume what little stability remains. The ominous shadow of Spain looms, a constant reminder of external threats. As the narrative gaze shifts to the burgeoning United States, ambition stirs with the acquisition of the Louisiana Territory. Narrator's voice whispers ominous words. Meanwhile, north of the border, a young United States was growing fast. The United States, now with its eyes set on something more, a land that was vulnerable, rich, and ripe for the taking. The narrator ominously concludes. That land? Mexico. In 1836, Texas blazes with revolutionary fire, its spirit yearning for freedom. The land trembles as Texas shatters the chains of Mexican rule, forging its own destiny in the crucible of war. Amidst the chaos of war, a nation is born, carved from courage and defiance. In the throes of revolution, a lone voice echoes. In 1836, Texas broke free from Mexico. The narrator's voice echoes through the corridors of American political power, hinting at impending shifts in the nation's destiny. Whispers of caution and fear of conflict with Mexico cast a shadow over the grand halls of American government. Unresolved tensions over slavery intertwine with political strategy, holding the nation back from decisive action. The narrator's ominous tone signals that the forces of change are gathering, ready to reshape the nation's future despite the hesitations. In 1845, President James K. Polk stands tall, embodying the spirit of a nation on the cusp of dramatic expansion. With unwavering resolve, Polk's vision for America's future ignites a spark of ambition. Texas, Oregon, California. He wanted it all, the narrator says, hinting at the fierce determination and strategic cunning that would define his presidency. And he was willing to fight for it, foreshadowing the looming conflicts and dramatic power plays that will shape the nation's destiny. Amidst rising tensions, U.S. troops march into the disputed territory, igniting a powder keg of conflict. Polk's audacious gamble unfolds as he deploys U.S. troops into the contested zone, setting the stage for inevitable confrontation. The narrator reveals Polk's calculated provocation. Polk tried to buy the land. Mexico refused. So Polk made his move. With Mexico's refusal echoing in the air, Polk's strategic deployment transforms into a fateful march toward war. The narrator concludes. He sent U.S. troops into the disputed territory between the Rio Grande and the Nueces River, sealing the nation's fate. In the disputed territory, the air crackles with tension as Mexican cavalry and U.S. soldiers engage in a deadly dance of war. The narrator sets the stage. On April 25, 1846, the first shots were fired. The narrator somberly announces, Mexican cavalry clashed with U.S. soldiers. The narrator grimly reveals, blood was spilled. The narrator concludes with grave finality. The war had begun. Under the vast sky of Palo Alto, General Zachary Taylor commands American forces, poised for a clash of destinies. With a decisive gaze, Taylor advances his leadership, a beacon for his troops as they march towards the impending conflict. At Resaca de la Palma, the intensity escalates as American forces surge forward, driving the Mexican army into retreat. Amidst the chaos of war, the narrator echoes, General Zachary Taylor led American forces into battles at Palo Alto and Resaca de la Palma, pushing Mexican forces back. Victorious, Taylor's strategic brilliance reshapes the landscape of conflict, forever altering the course of history. In the heart of the United States Congress, Polk's powerful presence commands attention, his words echoing with unwavering resolve. A single, searing declaration ignites the room as Polk thunders, American blood has been shed on American soil. In response to Polk's stirring declaration, Congress ignites as it conveys the monumental decision, Congress declared war. In the solemn quiet of a military office, young Ulysses S. Grant grapples with the weight of war, his brow furrowed in deep thought. Sunlight paints the air with golden hues as Ulysses reflects on the grim realities of the conflict. In a moment of stark realization, Ulysses admits that the U.S. provoked this war. Through Ulysses' admission, the nation's hidden guilt is revealed. The U.S. provoked this war. In the solitude of his Cuban exile, Antonio Lopez de Santa Anna contemplates his next move. Antonio Lopez de Santa Anna sees an opportunity amidst his exile. The narrator reveals, in the shadows of all this was a man named Antonio Lopez de Santa Anna. He was exiled in Cuba, but he saw an opportunity. Santa Anna navigates the labyrinthine alleys of Cuba, a master of deception, weaving promises of peace to the U.S. and vows of honor to Mexico. In hushed tones, Santa Anna whispers assurances to U.S. representatives, a facade of tranquility masking his true intentions. With fiery passion, Santa Anna pledges allegiance to Mexico's honor, his words echoing with a deceptive fervor. The narrator unveils Santa Anna's duplicity. He told both sides what they wanted to hear. To the U.S., he promised peace. To Mexico, he swore to defend its honor. Amidst the vibrant chaos of Cuba, Santa Anna orchestrates a symphony of deceit, his every move a calculated step in a treacherous game. In the heart of Mexico's presidential office, Santa Anna's towering figure exudes an air of indomitable pride as he proclaims himself president. The room is filled with a tense silence, broken only by the forceful pronouncement. The narrator unveils the stark betrayal. Upon his return, he shattered their hopes, seizing power and declaring himself president once more. In the vast expanse of New Mexico, American forces march onward, their advance unopposed, as a silent conquest unfolds. Across the desolate terrain, soldiers tread with faces etched with grim determination, a visual echo of the unseen battles ahead. A narrator solemnly intones, "They took New Mexico without firing a shot." The quiet invasion unfolds, marked only by the rhythmic march of boots on sun-baked earth, a somber testament to a bloodless takeover. Under the radiant California sun, a new chapter unfolds, as U.S. forces seize control, marking the end of Mexican rule. With minimal opposition, U.S. forces assert their dominance, signaling a swift transition of power. The air vibrates with the echoes of change as California is proclaimed liberated from Mexican control. The narrator solemnly declares, in California, U.S. forces met little resistance and soon declared the territory free from Mexican control. Under the relentless desert sun, Taylor's army collides with Santa Anna's forces in a brutal clash of wills and steel. The narrator ominously declares, "Back east, Taylor's army clashed with Santa Anna himself at the brutal Battle of Buena Vista." A maelstrom of chaos erupts as cannons roar and muskets blaze, painting the battlefield with smoke and fury. In a desperate struggle for survival, soldiers from both sides engage in brutal hand-to-hand combat, their faces contorted with rage and desperation. Amidst the carnage, the desert wind whispers a mournful dirge for the fallen, carrying with it the echoes of shattered dreams and lost lives. General Winfield Scott orchestrates a historic amphibious landing at Veracruz, a pivotal moment in the war. American troops surge onto the beaches of Veracruz, a determined force ready to march towards Mexico City. Amidst the chaos of the landing, General Scott's strategic brilliance shines as he commands the operation. The narrator sets the stage, introducing Scott as the figure who delivered the knockout blow. With unwavering resolve, American troops begin their march, setting their sights on the distant capital. Veracruz transforms into the starting point of a daring campaign, a march destined for the heart of Mexico. Battles rage across the landscape, consuming everything in a storm of fire and fury. A grim echoes over the battlefield, marking the relentless advance and ultimate triumph of the U.S. forces. The U.S. flag ascends over Mexico's capital in September 1847, symbolizing a hard-won victory amidst the ruins of war. The U.S. flag waves defiantly above Mexico City, a stark symbol of victory amidst the scars of war. Mexico City bears the wounds of war, a somber testament to betrayal and conflict. The narrator somberly reflects on the war's aftermath. The war left scars, Mexico, battered and betrayed. The U.S., victorious but divided over what it had done. A narrative voice recounts the bitter truth. Mexico lies in ruins, betrayed, while the U.S. grapples with the moral cost of its victory. Solemn representatives convene in an undisclosed location, their pens poised to inscribe history onto the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo. The scratching of pens echoes through the chamber, each stroke sealing the fate of nations and peoples. The air hangs heavy with unspoken tension, a silent testament to the profound consequences of the treaty. History itself bears down upon the scene, its weight palpable in every gesture and glance. As the final signature is affixed, the narrator's voice recounts, "In 1848, the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo was signed. Under the radiant sun, California, Texas, New Mexico, Arizona, and Nevada unfold, showcasing the vast territories once contested." The narrator declares, "The U.S. gained what is now California, Texas, New Mexico, Arizona, Nevada, and parts of several other states over 900 square miles." The narrator concludes, "Mexico got 15 million. The camera focuses on the vast expanse of North America, where destiny and discord have reshaped the very lines that define nations. A solemn voice narrates, "Some called it destiny, others called it theft, setting the stage for a nation's transformation." The narrator continues, "But the Mexican-American War forever redrew the map-pond, set the stage for everything that would come after, leaving an ominous feeling.